Hello everyone, welcome to BISP Solutions. I'm Preeti working here as Oracle Fusion Functional Consultant. So with today's session, we will start with project portfolio management. So these are the common configurations that we are required to set up in the application for project portfolio management module. Well, starting with the project portfolio management module, we have to create the implementation user first, and we have to provide some roles to that user so that he can do the setups regarding project portfolio management. So now we will move to our application to see how to set up these configuration in the application. Now here, this is the home page of our application. Now we have to go to tools. So click on this navigator. Under tools, we will find the option security console. Through that, we can create the user. Somehow it is not showing here. So move back to our home page. Here, go to tools. You can see here the option that is security console. Click on it. You can see the option or tab available that is item user. Click on it. So from here we can create the user. You can see the option here that is add user account. There's one more way to create the implementation user. Click on this Casey Brown, that is your username. Now click on setup and maintenance. Select here your functional area as project financial management. Now click on initial user. You can see the option here that is create implementation user. Click on it. Now click on add user account. Now you have to fill this information. Enter the password for this user. Now click on save and close. This is how we created the implementation user. Later on, we will link this implementation user with our employee account. We will see this later on. Now, again, search for the user that we have created. So this is our user. You can see the status here as active. Now click on this user. If you want to make any changes into this user, you can click on edit and then you can do the required changes. Now we are required to provide the roles to this user so that this user can perform the configuration or setup related to project portfolio management. So what are the roles that you need to provide to this user? We will go to our PPT to see what are the roles. So in the blue marking, you can see these are the roles which are related to implementation, and the one who those are in red color are the roles that are related to project portfolio management. The above four roles are required to do the setups regarding the implementation, and the below four are used to do the setups regarding the project portfolio management module. Now, we will move to our application and we will provide those roles to the user. Click on edit icon. Now click on add role. Search for the role IT security manager. So we have to add the first one. We don't have to go for the job copy. Click on it and then click on this tab that is add role membership. You can see here the role that is application implementation administrator. We will go with the role that have a code that's ORA. Again, click on add role membership. This is the role application implementation consultant. The last one is application implementation manager. Click on done. Let's discuss about these four roles. These four roles are used so that user can do the configuration related to project modules only. So we give the project manager role. This role is same as project administrator, and additionally it provides you the access to approve the project budgets. So additionally he have a privilege to approve the project budget. Why we use the project administrator role? This role allows you to create projects, managing work plans and managing the project. Project accountant role is used where user can do the transactions in the project. Project billing specialist is the role that we provide to the user so that this role is used to maintain project revenues and invoices. Revenue management and customer invoice maintenance is the main motive to use this role and to provide this role to the user. Now we will move to our application and will provide the same roles to the user so that he can be able to do the configurations related to PPM module. So these are the implementation roles. And now we will click on add role. Project administrator role. This is the one. What this role will do? This role allows you to create projects in the application, manage the work plans related to the project, and managing the project. Now click on Add Role Membership. The next role is Project Manager role. The user who will have this role will be able to manage the project, manage the work plans, create the project. But additionally, it have one more privilege, that is he can approve the budgets of the project. Click on Add Role Membership. Next role is Project Accountant. This role allows you to create transaction in project import cost. Click on Add Role Membership. The next role is Project Billing Specialist. This user will be allowed to create revenue and invoices related to project. Every role comes up with the privileges. Now click on Done. Click on Save and Close. Now, how to synchronize the user that we have created and the roles that provided to him with the application. For that, we have to go to Tools. And for that, you have to run one job, that is LDEP job. Click on this schedule process. Click on schedule new process. Search here. Click on first option, that is retrieve latest LDEP changes. So whatever the changes that you have done will be synchronized with the application. Now click on OK. Again, click on OK. Click on Submit. So the application is giving the error that this job is already submitted. So the job is already submit. So then it will synchronize the user automatically. We can cancel it here right now. So we will move to our next task. So we have seen how to create the implementation user, how to provide the roles to the user. Now we will see how to create the custom rules if needed. You require the custom rules when you need to provide the specific privileges to the user, or you want to give the limited access to the user. On that time, you create the custom rules and you provide those custom rules to the user so that that user can have only limited access. Now we will see how to create the custom rules in the application. Click on home page. Go to Tools. Go to Security Console. One thing that you need to remember that we create the custom roles only for a specific purpose. When you provide some roles or you want to provide some limited access to the user, then only we create the custom roles. This is not a mandatory setup. This is only done when it is required by your organization. Now you can see this is the page related to roles. Now I will search for some role, say that is project manager. We have two options. One is that we can copy the role from the existing role, and the next is we can create the new role. So you can see we have an option here that is create role. So click on it. Here you can give the name of the role. If you know what are the privileges that you need to provide to the user, you can go for create new role, or else you can copy the existing role. Say this is the existing role that is project manager and I want to copy it. What I will do, I will remove some privileges from it, and then I can save this new role with new name. We will see how to do it practically. Click on this drop down arrow. You can see the options that is edit role, copy role, compare role, simulate navigator. Now I want to copy this role. Whether you want to copy top role or top role and inherit roles. I'm going with second option. I want to copy this role overall. Click on copy role. Now here I have to give the unique name to this role. Click on next. Again click on next. So these are the data security policies. You can remove it from here. You can see here the remove data security policy. If you want any data security policy that should not be accessible by this user, you can easily remove with this option. So it is not showing the privileges in this role. We will try with another role. Let's go with project accountant. Again, click on this drop down arrow and click on copy role. So now you can see the privileges that this project accountant role has. Say, I don't want my user to have access to manage project capital asset service. What I will do, I will click on this checkbox. I also don't want this privilege that is project performance service. And now I have to click on delete icon. You can see the warning that application has thrown. You are about to delete the managed project capital asset service privilege from the role. Do you want to continue? So if you will remove this privilege, your user will not be able to do any setups or work regarding this managed project capital asset service. So this is how you can limit the access of your user. Click on yes. Again, I don't want my user to search customer account relationship. Again, I will delete this privilege. This is how you can manage the privileges. Now click on next. And these are the data security policy. Say I want to remove this data security policy. You have to drop down the list and you have to click on remove data security policy. Click on yes. Now click on next. Again, click on next. Now, if you want to give any user here, you can do it, but I'm not doing it right now. You can also from the add user account page or edit user account page, you can give the role to the user. And this is also the option that you have. You can provide the user with this role here also. I'm not doing it right now. Click on next. Now click on submit and close. So this process has been submitted. This is how you can create the custom roles, and this is not a mandatory setup. You can do it as per your business requirement. Go to setup and maintenance. Select the work area here as project financial management. So in the first task in the initial user, we have created the implementation user. That was a required task. Now come to enterprise profile. So these are the common setups which we have already done while creating the GL setups. Now there is a task that is manage reference data set. We have to create at least one reference data set. Now click on add icon. We will see the use of this reference data set later sessions. Click on save and close. So these all are the setups that we have already done while creating the GL setups. These are the common setups which are required in PPM and also in other modules. Now click to come to next functional area. You can see here, these are the all setups related to legal reporting. Move to next functional area, that is financial reporting structure. So you can see here, this is the primary ledger, specify ledger options. These are all the setups that we have done while creating the GL. Now come to next functional area, that is organization structure. So project module is the module that works at business unit level. So this is the very mandatory setup. Now we will create the business unit. You can see in the task list, we have completed above 5 tasks, and now we are creating the business unit. You can see the enterprise structure and organization in project financial management. We have to create the legal entity, then we have to create the business units, then we have to create the project units, then we have to create the organization hierarchy, the departments or the organization that you will enter into your organization hierarchy will be the only organization that you will be able to use in your configurations of project portfolio management. Then you have to create the reference data set. So create legal entity is the setup which is very common and which we already created while creating our GL setups. Now we will see how to create the business units. In Oracle Fusion application, we create business unit for creating a secure mechanism for transaction. We use business unit for managing reporting, transaction processing, transactional data security, reference data definition and sharing. So we will move to our application to see how to create the business unit. You have to click on this task, that is manage business unit. For creating the new business unit, you have to click on this add icon. Have to give the reference data set here. I am selecting it as common. Click on this checkbox and now click on OK. Again, click on save and close. So this is how we created our business unit. Now, our next function is to assign business unit business function. What functions this business unit can perform, we can decide here. Now, click on this task. We have to select the business unit that we have created. So click on select and add. So this is the business unit that we have created. Click on this checkbox. Scroll down little below. There's some problem in the instance. Let's try one more time. So there's some problem in the instance. It is not letting me to scroll down so that I can click on save and close. So you will see the setup with our existing business unit. Again, go to setup and maintenance. Select the area as project financial management and go to organization structures. Now you have seen that there's a already selected business unit, that is US1 business unit. So I will show you the setups with this business unit only because instance is not working properly. Now click on apply and go to task. Now here you can see these are the setups. And if you want any setup that should not be done with your business unit, you can disable this checkbox. For example, I don't want this business unit to operate in customer payments. I will disable this and then I will click on save and close. Right now, I'm not doing any changes in the existing business unit. So these are the functions that your business unit can perform. So as per your business requirement, you can enable the checkboxes of the areas that you want your business unit to operate with. Now you can see here, while doing this, you have to assign a primary ledger to this business unit, and automatically it will take the legal entity that is associated with that primary ledger. So this is how you can select the functions that you want your business unit to operate, and you have to select the primary ledger and legal entity. Now click on save and close. Now we will see how to give the data access to user. First, you have to create the implementation user, then you have to provide the roles to that user. But how you will provide the data access to the user, we will see in this task. Click on this, click on apply and go to task. Now click on this create icon. Here you have to select the user. So this is the user that we have created. Now select the role for which you want to give the access to the user. So I have to give the data access to the user for three rows at business unit level. As I told you earlier, that project portfolio management is the module that works on the business unit level. So I will provide the data access on the business unit level. Click on this checkbox and then click on OK. Now you can see there are two options on the basis of which you can provide the data access to the user, but I will provide the data access on the business unit level. Now here in the security context value, you have to select your business unit. Click on it and click on OK. In the same way, we will provide the data access for other two roles. So these are the options available for project manager. I will select it as business unit. And here I will select my business unit. This is how you can give the data access to the user. Now this user will be able to do or operate on the basis of this business unit only. Click on done. Click on all task. Now there is one more task, that is business unit set assignment, where you can select which setup will use which reference data set. So this is the task where you can decide which setup will use which reference data set. So these are the setups, and here you can select the reference data set. If you want any setup to use different reference data set, you can come here and you can make the required changes. Click on save and close. Now come to our last task, that is manage common CRM business unit profile options. Here you can decide which business unit will be opt by default. You cannot create new default business unit, but you can make changes to the existing one. Say on the site level, you want business unit that is other than US3, then you can select it from this drop down list. Then whenever you will create the setup or configuration regarding the setup which require business unit, it will automatically or by default shows this business unit only. So this is the main motive of this task. Now click on done. Let's move to our PPT. So these are the setups that we have discussed. These are the common setups. Now, from our next slide, these are the setups which are actually covering the configurations related to project portfolio management. Again, go to setup and maintenance. Select here project financial management. Now we have discussed till the functional area organization structures. So let me tell you one thing, that these are the setups that are common, that are also used while creating GL configurations. Now from the workforce structures, we will start discussing the configurations which are specifically related to project portfolio management. Now, click on workforce structures. So we need to create the organization hierarchy in the project portfolio management, and in that hierarchy, whatever the organization that you have mentioned, you will be able to use only those organization while creating any transaction related to project portfolio management. So it is very necessary step to create the organization hierarchy. Project will be handled at cost center level, that is department. So we need to create the different departments. Now, so these are the setups that we need to do for creating the final organization hierarchy. Step by step, we will see how to create these hierarchy and what are the tasks that need to be performed for that. So we will create departments first. What are the departments you are having in your organization? You have to create it here. Departments like finance, sales, purchasing, admin. For creating the department, you have to click on this create icon. Give the name here. Give the status here as active or inactive. Whenever your department is no more in use, you can inactive from here. Now click on next. You can see here, as I told you, that the project portfolio management works at cost center level. So if you have any cost center information, you can fill out here. But this is not the mandatory piece, so I am leaving. But as per your business requirement, if you want to fill it, you can go to the fields and you can fill it. Now click on next. Click on submit. The request is submitted. Now again click on create icon. Give the name here. As per your business requirement, you can create n number of departments. Later on, these departments will be converted into project owning organization or project expenditure organization. We will see in our coming videos how to create these organization or department as project owning or expenditure organization. and what are the use of it. While creating the tree organization, we have to select these departments in it. After that, only we can use these departments at the time of creating transaction. You can see here, these are the departments created by us. Now we will move to our next task. So when we create the hierarchy, we have to make the decision what kind of hierarchy we need in the organization, whether you need department trees or whether you need organization trees. So this is the task that we will see later on. So we have created the departments. We are not creating any divisions. These are the two tasks that we will see later on. Now this is a manage job task. We will see what is in it. You have to create the job for the user. Click on create icon. Right now there's no use of it, but later on we have to use it when we will link our implementation user to employee user. There we have to give the job of that user. Click on next. So these are the fees that are required to fill as per your business requirement, but these are not the mandatory fees. I'm leaving it right now. Click on next. Again, click on next. So this is how you can create the job. We will see the use of it in our later sessions. Click on done. Now we have a new concept that is project unit that is also required to create our organization hierarchy. Move to our PPT. So what is project unit organization? It is a new concept in Oracle Fusion. This function was not available at the time of EBS. It is an additional control provided by the Oracle Cloud. Say if your organization is providing different kind of services, that is line of business. If your organization have different line of businesses and you want to report it on individual basis, then for that purpose you have to use project unit. On the basis of project unit, you have to report. So if your organization is providing different kind of services and implementing project module, project unit is used to control the project configuration based on those services. So basically it is used for reporting purpose. When you want your line of business to be report on individual basis for better understanding, then you use project unit, and this is the functionality which was not available in the EBS. It is only for Fusion. Now move to our application. Select project financial management. Now click on project organization functional area. You can see here the task related to project unit. This is the completely new area for Fusion. For creating the project unit, you have to select the task that is project unit organization. Project module works at business unit level, and under business unit, you can have multiple or n number of project units. We can maintain the project unit under business unit. Say if we have three different line of business, that is consulting, implementation, support, and we need to report on individual basis, then we will use this project unit functionality. And it is compulsory to at least define one project unit in the application for PPM configuration. So this is the mandatory step. Now, for creating the project unit, you have to click on create icon. Say we have three line of business, that is implementation, consulting, and support. Click on save and close. You also have an option to create the project unit organization with the existing organization, but I'm creating the new one. Now click on save and close. Again click on add icon. As I'm taking three line of business, click on save and close. Let's search for the project units that we have created. You can see here we have created three project units. Again, go to project organization functional area. Click on next task, that is manage project unit options. So here, with this option, you have to assign the reference data set to your project unit. Now here, select the reference data set. I'm selecting it as common. Now click on next. So here you have to assign the business unit to this project unit. As I told you, the project unit will be fall under business unit. So right now you won't be able to see the business unit here, the the one that we have created. For that we need some additional configurations. So right now we are skipping this step and we will come back to this after making the required configuration. After that, the business unit that we have created will be visible here. So right now I'm skipping this step. Click on next. Here you can select the business units un under which the project unit will operate. There can be n number of business units. It is not required that you have to select only single business unit. You can select n number of business units. The project unit can be the part of the multiple business units. Now click on next. On which basis you want to make the reporting. You can see here. Say you want requisitions detail. Click on this checkbox. What should be the status? You want to see all or only approved requisitions. So here you can see the status. You can select whether you want to see the purchase orders, supplier invoices, other commitments. So on what basis you want to make the report or you need reporting, you can select here. What should be the basis, period start date, period end date, daily proration. You can select here as per your business requirement. Now click on save and close. Now do the same for the other two project units. Click the reference data set. Click on next. Again, click on next. Click on save and close. We have created the project unit. We have assigned the reference data set. Now move to our next task. Click on done. Manage project unit set assignment. Here also we can provide the reference data set, but we have already assigned the reference data set to our project units. You can see here, these are the three project units that we have created and the data set is already been assigned. Let's take one and click on edit icon. So here you can select the reference data set. You can see here. In the earlier task also you can assign the reference data set, and in this task also you can assign the reference data set. Move to next task. Click on this task, that is manage organization hierarchy and classifications. So say I want to create organization hierarchy for my PPM. Now I want to select on which basis my project portfolio management module will work. So I've created business unit, department. I didn't worked on division, so I will remove this classification. Click on yes, then click on enterprise and remove it. So these are the five bases of classification that I require for my organization hierarchy. So I will select only these five, or in the additional, if you require any of the available classification to be work for your PPM, you can select it from here. Now I have to select only these five classification for my organization hierarchy. Now click on save and close. Now move to next task, that is manage project organization classification. You can see here the departments, as well as you will be able to see the project units that we have created. Now what we will do, we will select our department, click on OK, and here we will select whether we want this organization to be defined as project owning organization or expenditure organization. Click on search. Now click on this checkbox and click on edit icon. Click on continue. Now here you can see how you want to classify your organization. In the first task, you can classify it as project and task owning organization. So whether this organization will be allowed to only indirect projects. Indirect projects are those projects which works on only in the internal operations. The next one is allow projects enable for capitalization. The costing of the project will be capitalized and will be recognized as asset will be the project which will be known as capitalized project, and the project that is allowed for billing, that is for external purpose. So on what basis you want to recognize or organization, say I want that this organization should be classified as project and task owning organization and should be used for all three purpose or all three type of projects, and also if in any case it is required, it can be used as project expenditure organization. So this is how you can select your classification here in this task. Click on save and continue. Now here you can select the tree version, tree name and parent organization. Right now this is not a mandatory step, but we will definitely discuss this task and will create tree version. Will tell you how to create the tree version in the Fusion and will assign the same here. Right now I'm skipping this task. In our later sessions when I will create the organization tree, will tell you and will assign the same here. So right now I'm clicking on save and continue and skipping this step. Click on submit. So the process has already been submitted. Now you can see this admin department will be recognized as expenditure organization and task owning organization. Now we have to do this for all the departments. Go to finance. Again, click on this checkbox and click on edit icon. Select PPM finance and click on continue. I want to use for both the classifications. Click on save and close. Click on save and continue and submit the process. So in this step, you can classify the organization whether it is to be used for task owning organization or expenditure organization. Click on edit icon, select the PPM purchase and then click on continue. Again, I am selecting this organization for both the purpose. Click on save and continue. In tomorrow's session, we will discuss how to create the tree organization and how to assign it here. So now I have selected my 4 departments as task owning organization and expenditure organization. Move to our PPT to see whether we have discussed the topics that we have taken for today. We have created the business unit, project units, organization hierarchy classifications, reference data set. We have discussed the business unit, project unit, the roles to be provided to the user for performing the setups related to project portfolio management. So we are done with all the tasks that we have taken for today's session. If you have any query, please reach out to us at bispsolution.com. Thank you so much for joining the session and watching the session. Thank you so much. Have a good day.